Long ago, beyond the hills where the red earth met the endless green forest, there was a small African village called Nambala. It was a peaceful village. Children played beneath enormous baobab trees. Women gathered water from the river. Farmers returned home at sunset with baskets filled with maize, cassava, and fruits. But hidden deep inside that peaceful village was something no child was allowed to see. Something no adult dared to touch. Something the elders guarded more carefully than gold itself. A golden bracelet. The villagers believed that the bracelet had belonged to the spirit world. And according to an ancient warning, whoever wore it would receive everything they desired. But there was a price. A terrible price. For the bracelet always took something precious in return. And one evening, a young woman named Amara discovered it. She did not know that by touching that bracelet, she was about to change her life forever. Amara was hard-working. Every morning before the sun appeared, she woke up and walked to the river. She carried water home. She worked in the fields. She sold vegetables in the village market. And every evening, she returned to a small mud house where she lived with her elderly mother. They were poor. Very poor. Their roof leaked whenever it rained. Their cooking pot was old. And sometimes, there wasn't enough food for the next day. But Amara's mother always reminded her, "Daughter, poverty is difficult, but a dishonest heart is even more dangerous." Amara would smile. "Yes, Mama." But deep inside, she dreamed of another life. A life without hunger. A life where she could wear beautiful clothes. A life where nobody looked at her with pity. One evening, while returning from the market, Amara noticed something strange. A golden light was shining through the trees. She stopped. The light was coming from an abandoned hut. The sacred hut. Nobody had entered that place for years. Amara remembered the warnings. Never go near the hut after sunset. Never touch what belongs to the ancestors. And most importantly, never touch the golden bracelet. Amara stared at the hut. Then she whispered, "Why would a bracelet be hidden in there?" Her curiosity became stronger than her fear. And she walked toward the door. The door creaked open. Inside, the air was cold. Much colder than outside. Amara saw ancient masks hanging on the walls. Clay pots covered in dust. Old carvings. And strange symbols painted across the floor. At the center of the room stood a stone altar. And on top of it, was the bracelet. It was magnificent. It appeared to glow beneath the moonlight. Amara stepped closer. She could almost hear her mother's voice. "Never touch it." She reached out. Then stopped. Something inside her told her to leave. But another voice whispered, "Take it." Amara looked around. Nobody was there. The voice came again. "Take it, Amara." Her heart began pounding. She slowly reached toward the bracelet. The moment her fingers touched it, every flame in the hut went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Amara gasped. Then the bracelet suddenly became warm. Very warm. She should have dropped it. Instead, she placed it around her wrist. Thunder exploded outside. The ground shook. And from somewhere inside the darkness came a whisper, "Now you belong to me." Amara screamed. The following morning, Amara woke outside the sacred hut. She could not remember how she got there. But the bracelet was still on her wrist. When she returned home, something even stranger happened. A small leather bag was lying outside her door. Inside were gold coins. Real gold. Amara stared at them. Her mother gasped. "Where did you get this?" I don't know. But Amara knew. That night, she bought food. The next morning, she bought new clothes for her mother. Then she repaired their leaking roof. For the first time in years, Amara felt wealthy. And the bracelet seemed to reward her again. A farmer suddenly offered her a large sum of money for a small piece of land. A merchant gave her expensive jewelry. Her crops began growing faster than everyone else's. People started calling her lucky. Amara began smiling. Perhaps the elders had been wrong. Perhaps the bracelet wasn't cursed. Perhaps it was a blessing. But there was something Amara didn't notice. Every time her life improved, someone else's life became worse. A farmer lost his entire harvest. A merchant lost his animals. A wealthy family suddenly became poor. And then, a child became sick. Amara began to feel uneasy. But she refused to remove the bracelet. One evening, an old man named Baba Kofi arrived at Amara's home. He was the oldest elder in Nambala. The moment he saw the bracelet, his face became pale. "Where did you get that?" Amara remained silent. Baba Kofi stepped backward. "Remove it." "I can't." "You must." Amara looked at him angrily. "Why?" The old man sighed. "Because that bracelet does not create wealth." He pointed toward it. "It takes." Amara shook her head. "No." Baba Kofi looked into her eyes. Many years ago, another woman found that bracelet. Her name was Nalia. She became rich overnight. She bought land. She built a magnificent house. She wore gold. She became more powerful than everyone around her. Amara listened carefully. But after 7 days, Baba Kofi continued, everything changed. Nalia's husband disappeared. Her children disappeared. Her parents disappeared. And on the final night, Nalia disappeared too. Amara's heart began racing. Baba Kofi whispered, "The bracelet always takes what its owner loves most." Then he looked directly at her. "You have 6 days. Remove it before the 7th night." Amara refused to listen. She believed Baba Kofi was trying to frighten her. That night, she went to sleep. But shortly after midnight, she woke up. Someone was standing beside her bed. A woman. She wore an ancient African dress. Her face was covered in darkness. Amara froze. The woman slowly raised her hand. She pointed toward the bracelet. Then she disappeared. The next night, the woman returned. The 3rd night, she returned again. But this time she spoke. "You wanted everything." Amara's body trembled. The woman continued, "Now you must pay." Amara tried removing the bracelet. She pulled. She twisted it. She cried. But it would not come off. Suddenly, she heard her mother's voice. "Amara!" She ran into the next room. Her mother was lying on the floor. Weak. Unable to move. Amara screamed. "Mama!" Her mother opened her eyes. "Daughter!" Amara held her tightly. And for the first time, she understood. The bracelet had chosen its price. Amara ran through the village searching for Baba Kofi. She found him beneath the old baobab tree. "Please help me." The elder looked at her. "It has begun. What do I do?" "Return what you stole." Amara cried. "I cannot remove it." "You can." "How?" "Go back to the sacred hut. Return the bracelet. And surrender everything it gave you." Amara looked at her golden clothes, her expensive jewelry, her money, everything she had gained. She suddenly understood. The bracelet had not made her rich. It had made her greedy. And now it wanted the most valuable thing she had. Her mother. That night, Amara walked toward the sacred hut. The sky was black. Lightning flashed across the clouds. The wind screamed through the trees. She entered the hut. The ancient altar was waiting. And standing beside it, was the mysterious woman. Amara trembled. The spirit spoke, "You wanted wealth. You wanted beauty. You wanted power. I gave you everything." Amara cried. "But you took too much." The spirit smiled. "Then choose. Keep the gold. And lose your mother. Or return what was never yours." Amara looked down at the bracelet. For a moment, she hesitated. Then she remembered her mother's sacrifices. The nights her mother went hungry so Amara could eat. The clothes her mother repaired again and again. The words, "A dishonest heart is more dangerous than poverty." Amara finally understood. She pulled the bracelet from her wrist. It burned her skin. She screamed. But she did not let go. She placed it on the altar. "I don't want your gold. I want my mother." Thunder shook the village. The bracelet cracked. The golden surface turned black. And then, it disappeared. When Amara returned home, her mother was sitting outside. Alive. Healthy. Waiting for her. Amara ran into her mother's arms. Neither woman spoke. They simply cried. The following morning, Amara gathered the villagers. She confessed everything. She told them about the bracelet, the gold, the nightmares, the curse, and the choice she had been forced to make. The villagers were silent. Then Baba Kofi stepped forward. He said, "Let this be remembered. Gold can build a house. Money can fill a basket. Power can make people bow. But none of these things can replace a person who truly loves you." From that day forward, Amara returned to her simple life. She worked honestly. She helped struggling families. She shared what she had. And whenever children asked her about the golden bracelet, she always gave them the same warning. Never desire what belongs to someone else. Because sometimes what looks like a blessing is simply a curse wearing beautiful clothes. And so the story of the golden bracelet became part of Nambala's history. Generation after generation, parents told their children about Amara. Not because she became rich, but because she learned something more valuable than gold. She learned that greed can make a person blind to the treasures already in their hands. The greatest wealth is not money. It is family. It is love. It is peace. And sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is, "I don't want what was never meant for me." If this story touched your heart, subscribe to African Tales Arising for more African folktales, mysteries, legends, supernatural stories, and powerful life lessons. And tell us in the comments, if you discovered the golden bracelet, would you wear it, or leave it behind until the next tale? Remember, every African story carries a lesson. And every lesson has a story.